And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to the Lakers Outsiders podcast. At least I think they're still the Lakers. They don't look like the Lakers we're used to anymore. And they might have to change their names after this season if this continues. So I'm your host, Gary Kester. Joining me today for the second straight show, Kyle. Man, we're going to start getting a little win streak going with you. That's two in a row.
Win streak? Yeah, I don't know about that one, but I feel like the Lakers switched jerseys with Maccabi Haifa during that preseason game. That's who we're playing like.
Yeah, shout out to those guys, man. I wish they could come back and we could play them a few more times, but
Yeah, maybe like 4 or 5 times in the season.
yeah,
Get that win count up to 7.
4 or 5 times in a week.
Right.
And joining us today for the first time is another one of the youngsters for the Lakers Outsiders. Ty, how's it going, man?
Good, good. I'm only rookie here. Wait, with Kyle too. It's my first time here. I'm enjoying the weather in Hawaii, where it's not freezing.
Yeah, I live in Boise, so it was like pouring rain and like 30 something degrees on my way home from work this evening. So I'm a little jealous, but things I'm not jealous of, my fellow Laker fans out there. Yeah. So obviously the Lakers, in case you don't know already, the Lakers went into Golden State, who was 15-0, now 16-0 after beating the Lakers 111-77, and the Lakers are 2-12, and yeah, it's not good. But we're gonna recap the game a little bit. So in a game like this, admittedly, I didn't get to watch, thankfully, but some people did have to struggle through that game. Um, what are some of the positive takeaways that you guys saw from tonight? Kyle, we'll start with you.
Um, Man, that's really a really hard question with these guys tonight. But Tarek Black played minutes in the fourth quarter, which I do appreciate. It was good to see him get out there. And then D'Angelo Russell didn't play too bad going up against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, but really there weren't a lot of positives tonight. I didn't really see too much coming out of this game.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to draw some. I mean, we knew what this game was going to be like going in, so yeah, it's kind of tough. But Ty, what were some of the things that came off as positives to you tonight?
I thought Russell had a good game. His first quarter, he came out making two straight shots, and then Bryant got benched him. And when Larry Nance came in the fourth quarter, he did well too. He made a couple of nice shots, a couple of rebounds, and then Scott benched him again. So, I mean, those are the only two players that showed up today. Clarkson struggled, Kobe struggled, and Lou had a good shooting game too. He was surprisingly efficient today for the first time in the whole season.
Yeah, I think the biggest positive about the game tonight was that it ended. So
Thank God.
We got it over with.
And
I think we only have to play the Warriors 3 more times, so we made it through. We made it through.
no.
Ty, you mentioned Kobe, and this is really interesting because Kobe went 1 of 14 tonight. He shot 7%. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen somebody shoot 7% from the field. At this point, Kobe is 37. He's coming off of a couple major injuries. He's got so much mileage on his body. Is it time to retire for Kobe to retire before the season ends? And Ty, we'll start with you.
I think so. I mean, it's sad to say, but the way that he's playing, man, it's just really bad. 1 for 14. The shots that he's missing is just off air ball. They're not even close. They get stuck in the rim. I mean, even James Worthy and Coach Steve Miller on Time Warner Sportsnet criticized him. I mean, they never criticized him to this point of the season, but just a few hours ago, they said that he's getting old. If he's not making shots, he needs to have more assists. Kobe's just not playing well.
Yeah, he's it's really sad to see him like this because I mean we're all about the same age group. We all grew up watching Kobe just dominate. One of the greatest scorers the game has ever seen, and to just see him going out this way, it's it's depressing almost. Kyle, do you think it's time for Kobe to hang it up?
Man, I think it might be time for him to hang it up. I don't know if he's going to do it in the middle of the season because that's just not who Kobe is. And as long as he can keep making that paycheck, I mean, he's still making $20 million a year, so you may as well just stay in there. But one tweet I saw tonight before we went on the show is from Andy Bailey, and it says that Kobe Bryant's true shooting percentage is 41%, which is 775th among the 775 individual seasons in which an NBA player averages at least 16 field goal attempts.
Wow.
So it's really just a record season for Kobe for being one of the worst seasons on history for shooting. And that's why I think maybe it is time for him to at least take a reduced role in the offense and understand that he's just not going to be able to put up these numbers like he used to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think we talked about it last time, Kyle, is that his body is 37, but in his mind he still plays like he's 27. He still thinks that he's physically capable of accomplishing these things, and his body's just not letting him. And I mean, to a certain extent, every player that plays in the NBA or any athlete, period, that gets old, deals with that. But you have to adjust your game, right? You have to, like Kobe. I still think Kobe can be an effective NBA player, but we have to see Kobe the facilitator. Because if you try and, if Kobe's going to try and just score, he's that guy that's going to try and score 30 points. He's going to need 45, 50 shots to do so nowadays. So, honestly, Kobe, he just needs to he either needs to retire or he just needs to understand his role, which Matt Moore is Matt Moore of CBS Sports brought this up, like an old article, when Jim Buss said that Kobe needs to know his role with the Lakers, and everybody gave him a bunch of grief for that, but now it doesn't look so foolish. It actually looks kind of spot on, right?
Yeah, I like to think so, and I think everyone gives Jim Buss a bit more of a bad rep than he deserves. I think there are other people in the front office who are a bit more, I don't really quite know the word for it, but I just think that people aren't giving Jim Buss enough credit because he was basically spot on with that Kobe analysis before the season even started, that Kobe just needs to learn his role, become that facilitator Kobe that we all know and love, and just kind of get over the, he's probably never going to get 81 points again. So it's just something that he needs to work out with himself and with Byron and with the rest of the team.
Yeah, no question. And I've been on Jim Buss's side most of the time, and I'm not saying he's perfect or anything. He's far from it. Everybody in the Lakers organization right now clearly is far from perfect, but no, I think it's unfair that he gets a lot of blame. And he's been better than people realize, especially because he's been VP, since 2005. So a lot of people forget that. Ty, what do you think? Maybe something the front office can the front office kind of intervene here and tell Kobe, like, hey, you've got to change it up, because obviously Byron Scott's not going to.
Well, they have to. I think Mitch and Jim, they have the power to sit Kobe down and tell him, you're old. You have two young stud on your team. They need to you need to distribute the ball evenly. I saw on Twitter that Kobe took what was it, 14 shots today.
Mm-hmm.
Next highest Laker who took that many shots was Clarkson, who had 11. And that's just ridiculous to me, because Clarkson, he can shoot that many shots, and I'm fine with it. But when Kobe shoots that much, it's just depressing to watch.
Yeah, and it goes back to what Kyle was saying, was that it's one thing if he's missing these shots, they're straight on and it's off the back of the rim or just missing them a little short. I mean, but he's throwing up air balls. The ball's getting pinned between the backboard and the rim. I did see some clips of that, and it's been a constant theme all year. His shots just aren't anywhere close. He doesn't have the lift anymore. It's almost like he's had to completely change his shooting mechanics, and it's just taken, his efficiency's just taken a dive for the worst because of that. So, yeah, it's not pretty right now. Hopefully, hopefully we see Kobe the facilitator more often this year. But guy's been doing it a certain way for 20 years now, so it's hard to imagine him, changing the rest of the way. So, okay, so we're gonna get. I can't really say this is gonna put us on a brighter note, but we're gonna bring back an old game that we.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Let's see, Gary cut out there, but what he was going to say is that we're bringing back a game that they used to do. I think it was while they were in Team Tank, maybe even early Lakers Outsiders, but it's basically choosing a song that describes the Lakers season or the game that we just saw. Ty, did you have a song that you picked out?
well, I picked up "Bad Day" by Daniel Powter. It seems like it's the best season for the Lakers. I think this song they should play before every game, after every game, during halftime, on the plane. It's just when you're just having a bad day, bad season, you just want to get away. Oh man.
Yeah, I could definitely see that one. I actually chose one that was very specific, especially for Kobe. He's been having his worst season ever, realistically, and we just missed the old Kobe, and so I chose "I Miss You" by Blink-182, and that was just one of those things that you listen to it and you're like, man, I just miss that old Kobe. I miss him putting up 81 points against Jalen Rose and the Raptors and stuff like that. Gary, are you back now?
I hope so.
Okay. We both already talked about our songs. What was the one that you picked out for us?
Okay, I'm gonna attempt to play this. I apologize, everybody. My internet, I don't know if it was my internet or this laptop I just got. Like ever since I got it, I haven't been able to connect very well with it. But this is gonna be the song right here.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Gary.
Oh.
Oh, so I chose that song because every time I hear it, it just makes me sad. And now, anytime I see anything Laker related, like even the Laker flag that's hanging behind me, like it just makes me sad. So, honestly, the Lakers are like the Titanic. Because if you had told me, if you had told me back in 2010, like really dark times for the Lakers are coming in 5 years. They're going to be like the laughing stock of the league. I would have called you an idiot because like that doesn't happen to the Lakers. And the whole thing with the Titanic was like this ship is unsinkable, right?
That's
and then
kind of perfect.
and sure enough, like it's yeah. So that pretty much sums it up, man. That like I don't know how else to put it, but
coming in clutch with the Celine Dion there. I love it.
I had to break it out. Like I was actually thinking about that, like at work. I was like, this song is like perfect to describe the situation. So, all right. So now that we all threw that out there, and I endured some technical difficulties that hopefully won't come back up, we're gonna answer some questions. We got a lot of questions today, and some of them are actually different. They're not all just anti-Byron questions. So, this first question is, what's the bigger problem for the Lakers right now? Is it Byron Scott or Kobe Bryant? And Ty, we'll start with you.
That's a tough question because they're both bad. Let me see. I would say Byron Scott because he's the coach. He has the power to bench Kobe if he wanted to. I think if you have a coach that has the authority and a leadership that's right for the Lakers, I'm pretty sure he'll bench Kobe. He'll sit him out. He'll put him in a position to succeed. But Byron is just like I trust Kobe. I'll have faith. He'll play better. He'll play better, but he's not playing better. So I think Byron.
Yeah, Kyle, do you agree with that?
For the sake of going against Ty, I'm just going to choose Kobe, just because I think Kobe himself has the power to say, hey, I'm not doing so hot. Maybe I should shoot less or pass a bit more. Maybe don't go to me as much, or maybe not even play him as much. But It does still go back to Byron, because Byron, if he would man up, he would realize that Kobe isn't playing the best possible game that he can play. And so I think he just kind of needs to take Kobe aside and tell him, hey, I love you, Kobe. We used to play together and everything, but you're just not the guy that I played with back in, I think it was 95 or whatever. But yeah, Kobe needs to take a lot less shots. He needs to take more efficient shots. And when he takes those shots, he needs to not, throw up a wedgie or, completely miss the basket. So I think it does still go back to Kobe, but Byron has every bit of blame for the Lakers so far.
Yeah, I would argue that they're both equally hurting the Lakers. Like their impact is about equal, because Byron has the power to bench D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle and Jordan Clarkson, like those guys. And like tonight was like when the Lakers are getting blown out, there's no reason why the young players shouldn't be in there. I know they're a vital part of this team and everything, but it's like you're 2-12, just get them out there. Like I know you're risking injury and like meaningless minutes, but at this point, when you're looking at wins, they're all meaningless. So you might as well just get them out there. So in that aspect, Byron obviously, in his system, I've always hated like the Princeton and the Lakers. I don't even know if they run the Princeton. I don't know what they run. It's just straight ISO ball. But
they run the Byron.
Yeah, they run the Byron system. So yeah, they're hurting. Like Kobe obviously is a huge detriment on the court, and off the court, Byron. Well, I guess on the court too, but Byron's hurting the team as well. So they're both equally as bad in my opinion. But the next question was just simply, what is Byron doing? And I'll just answer that for all of us. We don't know. We just don't. So if I had an answer for you, I'd give it to you, but we don't. So this next question was, is it too early to regret purchasing League Pass? And then they added, I cry a lot.
Just because I know who that was, I'm going to go ahead and say yes. It was too. It's not too early for you to regret purchasing League Pass, and the reason why is because it's just horrible basketball to watch at this point. I haven't seen a single reason for me to be like, oh well, we should keep the League Pass, keep watching them, but it's just been ridiculously awful. And thank you, Colton, for asking that question.
Ty, do you think it's too early to regret it?
Yeah. At least there's 29 other teams that you can watch at League Pass. Just the Lakers not being one of them.
Oh, but he bought the team pass though. So
the team pass. Oh wow.
So he didn't even spend that extra $40 to be able to watch, the Magic or a really fun team to watch. It's just Lakers.
See, I'm such a basketball junkie that like I can watch any team and be happy. Like, but yeah, if you're just watching the Lakers, I genuinely feel bad for you. So. Yeah, so the next question was, this is actually a pretty good question because I kind of thought about it tonight myself. How long until players quit on Byron, a la Brian Shaw last year with Denver? And if that happens, would the front office finally fire him? And Ty, we'll start with you on this one.
I think after the All-Star break, if the Lakers are going to the All-Star break with a worse record than last year, and if Byron is still not changing, still playing Kobe 30 to 35 minutes a game, still benching Russell in the fourth quarter, still calling out his players off, me a man up, I think they will start to turn against him. Because I think Nick Young, he kind of like subtly criticized Kobe for taking a lot of shots today. So I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 months from now, it's going to be bad for Byron.
Yeah, Kyle, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's actually going to happen a bit sooner, just because I think it's already started. I remember back to the D'Angelo Russell LOL tweet from the other night that we all started guessing what that could have meant. And I saw some late game footage where the camera panned to D'Angelo Russell, and he had a towel over his mouth, and he was talking to Jordan Clarkson next to him. I can just understand that he would want to put that towel in front of his mouth because he's like, man, I just hate the coach right now. He's only playing me. I think he played 25 minutes tonight, and I could see the collapse coming in the next 5 to 10 games, honestly. And Mitch was on the road trip tonight, so maybe we even wake up tomorrow to some news that we've all been slightly hoping for, but you never know. You really never know.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, Anthony Irwin pointed this out. I did see him tweet this during the game. At least I think it was him. Maybe it was Ryan tweeting from the account. But no, he said he wasn't sure if it's the players quitting on him right now, or if it's the fact that they don't know what to do. They're just so poorly directed right now that they're just lost. It's a young team, so you obviously have to have strong direction and kind of really guide these guys in what they need to do. And they're not getting that right now. So I don't know if they're quitting on him or if they just don't know what they're doing. But I was looking ahead to their next game. So they play Portland and they play at Philly. If they lose all three of those games and they get Philadelphia, the first team is going to quit on Byron. I'll go out on that limb and say if they lose that game to Philly, which I don't think will happen because Philly gets our pick, so Sam Hinkie's going to make sure that that team wins, that the Lakers win that game. But if that happens, I can honestly seeing this just turn into an avalanche real quick. So that Philly game, that's gonna be interesting to watch.
It's kind of the turning point for our season, really, is if we win that Philly game, I think he keeps his job for a little while longer. But if we lose, and especially if that's Philly's first win, then I don't see any reason why the Lakers front office is happy with Byron at that point.
Yeah.
So we're gonna cheer for the Sixers on Tuesday.
It's gonna be pretty reminiscent of last year, that's for sure.
I know. We were all kind of rooting for Philly, and yeah, like deep down, I think we all knew Philly's not going to win. They're not going to win this game. So, okay. So this is kind of a two-part question. I'm just combining the questions. First, has Kobe proved doubters wrong with his 93rd ranking from ESPN before the season? And will Kobe end the season as the worst NBA player? Kyle, we'll start with you.
I think it kind of goes back to that stat that I threw out this year where he has the worst true shooting percentage of all time with players above 16 field goal attempts. And last time I thought about it, 775 doesn't equal 93. So I think he's already not proving the haters wrong. He's playing way worse than that 93 rank. And I don't see how he can really improve on that. It's just kind of this, like you said, Gary, kind of a downhill slope for the Lakers right now. If Kobe continues to put up between 10 and 15 a night, it's just going to continue to get worse. And I don't see how it can get any better.
Yeah. Ty, do you think Kobe ends the season as the worst NBA player in the league?
I don't think so. I mean, he's struggling, but I don't think he's going to end up being the worst NBA player this season. But I do think that if you were to rank him, again, if ESPN were to rank him right now, I think they'll put him around like 250, I think.
Oh, yeah.
He's that bad, yeah. I mean, he hasn't scored over 20 points since the first game of the season opener against Timberwolves. He hasn't scored over 20 points since then, so that's pretty bad for Kobe, especially considering the amount of shots he has taken. So.
Now, I do want to clarify. I don't think Kobe is the worst player in the league, not even close. Because I mean, the 76ers are a team, and they field probably the worst team I've ever seen. I know Gary and I were talking about that after the podcast last night. So I don't think Kobe's the worst player in the league, and I don't think he'll finish that way. But it's a far cry from the Kobe that we used to know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's fair to say he's the worst player in the league because he can, like I said, he can still have an impact on the game. But right now, maybe this is a hot take. I don't know. Right now, he's the most detrimental to his team in the NBA. I don't think there's another player out there right now that's hurting their team more. And that's kind of just blindly, without looking at numbers and statistics, just kind of going out on a limb here. I'll say that Kobe, as of right now, the way he is playing, he is hurting the Lakers more than any other player is hurting their respective team. So hopefully it changes, but that's kind of what it is right now. Like I said, I mean, we mentioned it. You shot 7%, dude. Like, the shot's not falling. Find another way to impact the game. Like, it's very plain and simple. So, all right. I think we've bagged on Kobe enough. But of course, the last question was about.
Uh-oh.
Well, he bailed on us again. Didn't show up again in the fourth quarter.
Oh, jeez. Losing Gary in the fourth quarter. Classic Lakers. I'm going to try to figure out what the last question was. I mean, Ty, do you have anything to really say while Gary's out? Do you have any quotes from tonight you might want to read?
Just from Nick Young. Let me look that up.
Okay, yeah.
He had a really good quote on playing together, being, passing the ball. Let's see. He said, I can't be like a video game and you're playing with your favorite player, We gotta share the ball. And I think he was subtly taking a jab at Kobe. I mean, they had like what, 9 assists as a team?
I think they finished with 16 on the night.
Oh, okay, 6. Wow, that's
they had like they improved their numbers in the fourth quarter there, believe it or not.
Garbage time. but yeah, I think that was a significant quote to paint the Lakers season.
All right, so we got Gary back. What was that question?
I apologize, guys. My internet is tanking harder than the Sixers tonight. So, okay. So this was from Master Red Snappa, one of the best followers that the show has, that the site has. He asks, "Is it legal if the Lakers hire Kilgrave from Jessica Jones to tell Kobe to retire?" And I don't know. Have either of you guys watched it?
I haven't.
No, I haven't either. But they can hire anyone.
That's pretty much the boat I'm in. At least you can tell him to retire or tell him to just to start passing the ball. Like, plain and simple. I haven't watched it yet. I'm a big Daredevil fan on Netflix, like huge Daredevil fan, and I know it's kind of affiliated with that and everything, so might have to give it a try. But yeah, sorry, Master Red Snapper, we can't really answer it because we haven't seen it. But
give me those Game of Thrones related questions, and I'm all day on that. I think Hodor would be the best center in the league. So.
Oh man, whenever Game of Thrones is on, like Twitter is just. It's just great. Like, it's just great to follow along. And I don't even watch Game of Thrones, so.
Oh, we need to get you on that.
All right, so that's going to do it for us. That's all the questions that we got, or at least most of them that weren't repetitive. So thanks to all the people that were following along and endured my internet difficulties. I apologize again. Thanks to those that asked us questions, and of course, Ty, thanks for coming on for the first time, and Kyle coming on again, and bravely supporting the Lakers shirt. You're braver than the both of us. So
got to support them in thick and thin. So
that's right. It's loyalty. No, thanks again, guys, for coming on. We'll definitely get you on here again. Especially if Ryan Kellepierre continues to be soft. I'm going to keep calling you out every show, Ryan, until you get back on.
Ryan.
So, yeah, thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you guys next time.